Hi guys, I'm Alexey Krivitsky from Adaptive Inc. I'm a certified Scrum trainer and enterprise coach with the Scrum Alliance. In this short video, I'd like to explain you one thing that I've been working on for quite some time, mentoring and coaching product owners. We all know that product ownership is a multi-faceted role, meaning that you need to be able to spend some time with your teams, guiding them and helping them to become better at building the product. On the other hand, you also need to be spending some time with the customers and also with your stakeholders. So we all know that you need to balance and oscillate between these fields, but product owners I've been working with sometimes struggle, to balance themselves properly. They'd rather spend the time where they have the best skills, right? So if a product owner comes from product development field, if they have software development background, typically my observation is that, well, they will be spending the time with the teams more than they probably should have, because I'm not saying that you need to spend less time with the teams, but you have only this much time in your work week. And if you're spending all the time with the teams, well, you don't have enough time to spend with your customers and with your stakeholders. Or if you're a business-driven product owner, probably coming from marketing organizations, you would likely be spending a lot of time talking to stakeholders and the customers, but you might be avoiding spending time with the team where actually they need you. So in this model that you will be seeing now, I've designed this 6-sector diagram, which helps me and hopefully my product owners understand better how this playground looks like and what are the 6 areas that you should be working on, not only 3 of those. Let's look at the aligned stakeholders. That would be on the top right, 1 a.m. The skill that you need to practice there, I call internal politics. And I mean politics in a good way, right? Politics can also be good. So what are you doing there in this field? Well, you are, first of all, trying to align not only with your stakeholders, but also doing different kinds of facilitation to make sure your stakeholders are aligned. And by stakeholders here, I mean business stakeholders, rather your internal allies, who you need support from, who should be backing you up to make sure that you can do your job as the product owner. So you should be spending quite some time with your stakeholders, not only building the initial alignment, but also making sure alignment is there. And if your strategy needs to be changed, everybody is still aligned on the new direction. If we're looking at the opposite sector, which I call lead product discovery, which requires another red skill, which I call external research, that is a very different field. That's a very different game. While you're working with the stakeholders, you're typically spending your time in your building, right? You're working with the employees, typically of your organization. But if you would like to build a successful product, long-lasting success, you cannot just build what your stakeholders want. You should also go outside of your building, as they say in a lean startup environment, and also understand what your potential users need, right? And I call that skill an external research to highlight that it typically needs to be done outside of your building, externally. And it's a research, meaning that, well, you might uncover things that you have not been wanting maybe to uncover, or maybe you prove or disprove yourself right around. It's a research. It needs to be done, and it's a continuous work. All right, so these have been these 2 sectors. As you can see, they are very much different. They are opposing each other. Well, that's why I put them on the different side of the diagram. The same goes with a pair of skills. Let's look at the top left, champion product vision. Well, it's not a secret that we don't want just somebody who would administer the product backlog. We also need somebody who can help us to understand why we're doing what we're doing. Somebody who can share a vision, who can really inspire and make sure that when things are hard, we all know that we are working towards the big, bright future. And to be able to do that, you cannot just share other people's thoughts and other stakeholders' slides, right? You need to really believe in that. And I believe it's an attitude, but it's also a skill because, well, we are not born having different visions. We are getting those visions, different beliefs in our lives, and by believing things, we become visionary. Like currently, I'm very much in the favor of this model because I believe it really helps to create better product owners. So that's my vision for this 20-minute talk. But if you look at the other sector on the other side of the visionary part, that sector I call driving product road mapping. That's a completely different beast. Here we really need executors. We need somebody who knows how to create plans and drive plans. And again, visionary and execution are very different things. That's why we put them on the different sides of the model. But good product owner needs to master both of them. It's not enough to be just a visionary. And it's not enough just to be a good planner. You need to have both. Let me explain you with a very simple and probably known example. Well, Elon Musk, right? It's hard to do a video on product ownership without mentioning him. No matter if you like what he's doing or telling or not, we should all agree that he's a great visionary because, well, one of his businesses, right, this space business, is where his vision is to create multi-planet species out of human beings. Well, that's a very bold vision. But he doesn't just write fantasy books. We've been talking about Mars for many, many years. And as I was a child, I read some books about Mars colonization. That was just fantasy. But he also a very bold executor because he has a very detailed, multi-faced plan that he rolls out. First, well, they learned to build rockets. Then they were able to make them return to Earth and become cheaper. Now it's a full-scale business, right? And they're making money on that only to be able to go to another stage of the plan, which is building your moon station. And that moon station is not the ultimate part of the plan, it's just another step towards actually colonizing Mars. So in this example, you can see that being a visionary and being an executor are very important two sides of what product owners are. Very different though to actually find or master in one person, but I'm trying to set quite a high bar for product owners because I believe only by having a high bar you can really develop your skills. Finally, let's look at the other two horizontal sectors. The one on the left, I call it guiding development teams. That's where you're practicing your delegation skills. You cannot do everything on your own, especially if you are a product owner of a large-scale product, not just two developers and a dog, but you have, say, 8, 10 teams working under you. Well, you cannot do everything now. You need to be able to delegate. In one of the next videos, I will also share ideas and practices how product owners actually delegate the work to the teams without losing their strategic seat at the table. So delegation is one thing, but of course, we all want product owners to keep their hands dirty. We just want people who come and show us the backlog and leave. We want somebody who can actually show their real skills. Like if you're coming from UX, well, we would really want product owners to draw from time to time some sketches, right? If you're coming from marketing, well, you should show us how to calculate the unit economy or whatnot for our product. If you are a developer or you have development skills or any other skills, it's great for a product owner to sit from time to time with a team like Steve Jobs, another guy who is hard to not to mention when you're recording the product ownership videos, right? But we know, like, he's been a visionary, he's been an executor, he's been a delegator, but we also know how much actually work and hours he put working shoulder to shoulder with his developers. Now the question whether they liked it or not, but let's leave that to other people. But makers, right? We want people to actually know what they're doing. We want product owner to be also a subject matter expert in that field of the product he's developing. That's why making is important. But if you're just a maker, you'll become a bottleneck very soon. That's why you need to delegate. So as you can see in the model, these 6 sectors very much describe the 360 view on the multifaceted role of product owner. Maybe you can think of some skills which are also required to do the work of the product owner. I'd be very happy to learn from you and try to put some more pairs of skills on the model. But for my product owners I've been working on, these 6 are already quite okay to have. What actually I asked them to do once I represent the model, I asked them to print it out, take a pen, and basically mark the sectors where they spend a lot of time. And by making the dots big or small, they can basically symbolize how much time they spend there. And then look at the balance or imbalance that they might encounter there and maybe do some corrective actions. So I would really encourage you guys to print it out. I'll mention that PDF in a comment, so go ahead and download it, of course, for free. I don't want your emails. I just enjoy this model because I believe it might help you to become a better version of a product owner than you are today. Thanks a lot. It's been Alexey Krivitsky from Adaptive Inc. All the best, and we'll see each other in the other video. Ciao.